Hey guys, this is Joseph Lucero with Powerlifting Technique. And today what we're going to talk about is this grip could potentially be sabotaging your bench press. So when I say grip, most people think about the, bench pressing narrow or wide or normal. That's not what I'm talking about. There's something you're doing with your grip on the bench press that could be sabotaging your ability. And by the end of the video, you'll know what to do, what changes to make, and if a certain grip might meet your certain standard or your needs rather. So bench press, it's the king of all upper body lifts. To define it briefly, pressing from the bottom up, utilization of your pecs, your triceps, your front deltoid. The problem is that with grip, you could be recruiting more or less of those primary or secondary muscles. So primary meaning the main focus. With bench, the main focus is your pecs, right? But your triceps and deltoids have a big impact on your pressing ability as well. I'm not saying they're truly secondary, but they assist the lift for sure. And if your grip changes, you change the recruitment of those different muscles. On paper, a more narrow grip, more elbow dominant, which corresponds to the tricep. The wider you go, the more pec or shoulder dominant it can become, depending on elbow placement. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing. So what's the best grip? And what about your grip is causing you to mess up and sabotage your lift? Finding that sweet spot is kind of a pain. There's no real clear-cut way. A lot of times I tell people, for traditional athletes, not powerlifters, traditional athletes, go shoulder width apart, because in your sport, you're going to be playing in a position where you're shoulder width apart. But it might be where you leverage your shoulder width out slightly to be the best grip for you in powerlifting. But you also see people who maximize the distance between their hands to make the bar path shorter, etc., on the bench press. But again, your grip could be sabotaging your lift, and it's not necessarily about your grip's width that I'm talking about. So have you ever thought about how your grip relates to your hands on the bench press? So for example, do you put your hands on the bar like this? Do you put your hands on the bar like this? So I don't really have necessarily a physical diagram to show you, but imagine the bar in your hands right now, okay? Does it go across your hand right here, or does it go down your palm? So there are different grips you can use in powerlifting to kind of leverage your anatomy differently to get different muscular recruitment. So I've seen a lot of, for example, USAPL, that federation. I see a lot of wider bench pressers. And what I do see is when they set up their grip, their hand, the bar doesn't go necessarily across their hand. It kind of goes down their hand, like across the palm in that sense. So imagine your grip's not like this, okay? Don't worry about the width. Just worry about the grip. Instead of it being like this, it's like this. So they grab the bar like this and they press. Notice how that's influencing my elbows to move outward. But if I let, for example, me, that bar go just straight across my hand, so underneath my knuckles, if I grip it, now my elbows are more inward. So if you go down the palm, that's causing your elbows to go wider. Now, why would someone want to do that? So a lot of us are built different, okay? It's kind of like squat stances, wider, shorter, narrower, feet out, feet forward. Influencing your anatomy and different grips could cause you to feel maybe more pain, less pain, etc. But to me, when I work with most powerlifters, I prefer their hand go across, or the bar to go across their hand, because now you're getting recruitment of your pecs, but your triceps. And when you get at the lowest position of your press, what's going to get all the weight off your chest initially, those first 2-3 inches, is the triceps. The pecs are under a lot of stress too, I get it. But at the bottom of your press, you're very tricep dominant. So why would we want ourselves altered grip down our palms and to press like this with our elbows out in a weakened position where we need our triceps the most? Because right here, the triceps aren't as engaged as they would be under here when they're leveraged under the bar. There's a bunch of different theories, schools on that thought. But for me, my experience and the clients I work with, I really don't like when their upper arm, the humerus, is outward, causing it to be more of a transversal press. So if you're not familiar with that, movement occurs in a few different planes of movement. You got sagittal, forwards, backwards, up and down, frontal, outward, inward. And And then transverse is rotation, twisting. So if my elbows are out and you look at my shoulder joint, it's going outward and inward. A lot of resistance is now in the shoulder joint. But if I press this way with the bar across my hands, I don't have that rotation. Now I just have forwards and backwards motion. And I think that's a stronger pressing pattern than outward. Now, you could argue it. You could go to the gym right after this and feel better with the bar down your palm versus across. And hey, I invite you, if that happens, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. But ultimately, I think when it comes to your grip, not width, but how you place the bar with your grip, that could be sabotaging your lift. Now, if you want to have a discussion, please leave a comment below, like the video, subscribe. Let's have a conversation about it. I love being able to talk about lifting. Today's topic about sabotaging your bench. Check out the grip, see what you think, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.